look at that. These are absolutely delicious. That is perfect.
The Wild Grill is brought to you by Napoleon Grills, North Fork Bison,
Today is all about family favorites. In fact, the original form of our main is so popular that approximately 50 million of these are consumed annually in North America. It is none other than the humble burger. And since this is the Wild Grill, we are swapping out the beef and making juicy elk burgers topped with savory bacon and brie cheese. To accompany the burgers, we are making my mom's delicious home recipe for Caesar salad. And for dessert, I'll be making my husband's favorite strawberry jello delight. Let's get into all this goodness, starting off with delicious wild boar mushrooms. For years, my mom has made these delicious garlic mushrooms, but you're with me now. So I figured let's take her recipe and let's make it wild. So I have my skillet nice and warm on the side burner here, and all we're going to do is grab our wild boar and get that cooking. Now my ground boar is looking fantastic. It's getting nice and brown, so it's time to add in our garlic. Now with garlic, as I always say, I'm putting in about just over a tablespoon, but if you want it more garlicky, you go for it. Oh, that smells fantastic. Now, wild boar is a leaner cut of meat if you're comparing it to pork, so you'll notice that you don't get as much of that fat coming off of it, so you may not need to drain as much as you would if you were using ground pork for this recipe. All right, so it is time to get this off, friends. Oh, it smells absolutely delicious. So now I'm just going to take it out and get it into a bowl. And then I want to save that little bit of fat that came off because I'm going to be using that for our next step. And now I'm just going to get our stems and I want to chop those up. Now, quite often, I've heard of people getting rid of their stems, which I understand, but this is a perfect time to incorporate our stems to be used to really fill up our mushrooms. Okay? We do not want to waste anything from this beautiful dish. All right, so those are pretty good. Keep in mind, you don't have to take them right down to nothing because they're gonna cook down in our pan. All right, back on the heat you go. All right, these are right where I want them. Let's get them off of that heat and into our wild boar. That is great. Next step, we're going to add in our cheese, and with that heat, that's going to start to melt right in there. Next, we have Italian seasoning, as well as some breadcrumbs, just to bind everything together. Give that a really nice mix. Make sure everything's well incorporated. Time to make the magic happen. Okay, so all we're going to do is grab a smaller spoon, grab our large, beautiful mushroom. Want to make sure we really fill that space. And then we'll just get that right into our foil pan. Now, as these bake in the barbecue, that stuffing's really going to just make a home deep within that mushroom. And then when we cut into it, ooh, that goodness is going to be right down in there, just the way we want it. All right, that looks like our last mushroom that will take up the last position in our pan. All right, next up, friends, we just want to sprinkle the top with our leftover cheese. There we go. So I'm going to put that right in the center. And what I'm going to do before I close my lid is I just want to turn down, really turn down that middle one because I don't want the bottom of my mushrooms to get cooked too well. I don't want them to burn. Then we'll turn these guys down just to about 3/4. That'll keep the temperature where I want it. Oh, those look fantastic. They are done. Let's get them off. Oh, I love it because the cheese has got that nice brown crisp to it on top. Very happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is just grab my plate. I'm going to put them on this nice little rustic board because I like it country. And let's get a closer look at these. Oh, they look so cute on there too. Look at that. Oh, that looks so nice, everyone. Now, that looks too pretty to touch, so I'm going to try one that's just sitting here waiting for me in the pan. Just a little nibble to make sure everything has come out exactly how I want it. Oh, look at the steam coming right from that. Oh my goodness. Wow. That wild boar has a real sweet and I want to say like nutty flavor to it, and that is pairing so well with the earthiness of these mushrooms. Oh my goodness. You're going to want to try these, friends. So good.
This portion of the Wild Grill is brought to you by Neal Brothers.
For me, there's nothing better than a well-made, juicy burger. Like, I kid you not. I love burgers so much that I often refer to them as my death meal. Meaning, if I could choose one thing to eat before I die, Lord willing as an elderly person, or on death row if things go south, I would choose a homemade burger, probably accompanied 100% with my mom's Caesar salad. I actually have my ingredients here for my burger. Let's get into this meaty goodness. Now, as I mentioned earlier, friends, our burgers will be made from elk meat today. And if you've been watching the show, you know that I love elk. It is a delicious, juicy, healthy meat. So I have my ground in here. All we're going to add in is an egg, our garlic. Oh, I love garlic. And my go-to sauce, Neal Brothers barbecue sauce. That's just going to really elevate those flavors. It's going to give me that zing, that bite that I'm looking for with my burger. Nice amount of that. All right, going to add my breadcrumbs in, but first, let's glove up. All right, breadcrumbs next. I'll put in a little bit initially, and then I'll add more if I feel like I need it as we go. Now, elk steaks, roasts, and burgers are gaining in popularity. Restaurants are starting to feature elk meat as a main course due to consumers requesting meats low in fats and high in protein. This meat is sometimes a little hard to find if you're not a hunter, but you can buy elk meat online from great companies like North Fork Bison. All right, friends, that is looking great. Time to get it into my press. Now, some people, growing up, we never used a press. We just used our hands to make it, but I'm going to be a fancy pants. My husband bought one of these a while ago, and it impressed me. There's no other way about it, friends. We got to get right into that meatiness and get dirty. All right, nice press there. Now what I'm going to do is just grab some foil. Let's get this guy out. Look at that. Oh, we're professionals, friends. And you know what I like about the press is that I can really see the ratio of meat to the buns that I'm using. Because when it comes to a good burger, it's not only about flavor, it's about ratio. These are looking really great, friends. So before I jump into showing you my mom's recipe for Caesar salad, let's go ahead and get our barbecue warmed up.
This Wild Sips is brought to you by Fielding Estate Winery.
Erin, I'm so glad you're here with me today. I wanted to talk to you. What do you think would pair well with elk burgers, with wild boar bacon and brie cheese and a blueberry jam?
I love everything about that. So what I've got here is I brought a homegrown favorite. This is from Fielding Winery. It's a winery in Niagara. And I've got a quiz for you, VQA. You know what that stands for?
I do not.
Vintners Quality Alliance. It means that there have been standards and procedures and regulations to ensure that you're getting the very best of Ontario fruit in this bottle. So what I love about this as well is that it has a screw cap.
Okay.
And it just means, especially
that's handy.
It's handy when you're, out for a hike, you're having your burgers. It means that you don't have to play around too much with a corkscrew. So anyways, let me pour you a little bit. You tell me what you think.
Fantastic.
Look at that
Thank
color.
you. Wow.
All right.
That is vibrant.
Isn't it nice? It's a beautiful ruby color. So the Fireside Red, this one is a little bit of a blend of Cabernet. And just let's take a little nose of that. Okay, so what are you picking up right away? I'm getting like that dark blueberry, black cherry, that really nice sort of black currant.
I'm going to be good enough with this that I'll be able to answer those questions.
But I love how it's picking up just on the aroma alone, that lovely blueberry jam note, right? And let's take a little sip.
Oh, that is lovely. That is smooth.
It is. But also, my favorite, we got some really nice acid there.
Yeah, I was going to say smooth, yet also a little bit of the zing.
Yeah, you got some nice juiciness happening. All that mouth-watering juiciness is just going to freshen up the cheese. It's going to freshen up the meats. Man, I think this is a great burger wine. Oh, super good.
Cheers to that.
Santé.
This portion of the Wild Grill is brought to you by Napoleon Grills.
Barbecue your way with high-quality grilling with Napoleon's Rogue XT propane gas grill. The Rogue XT 625 features 5 main burners and 935 square inches of total grilling area, including the infrared sear station. Porcelainized cast iron cooking grids provide even heating and the perfect sear on food. Grill different and go rogue with the Rogue XT 625 gas grill. Time for the Caesar salad. Now this salad is very, very close to my heart. I grew up, oh man, as long as I can remember, my mom's been making this. So what we want to do is go ahead and grab a glass based on how many people are coming over for dinner. And you want to fill that with olive oil. Now we fill it up 3/4 of the way, and the last quarter in the cup, you want to do equal parts of lemon juice and vinegar. Before I add in my liquids, let's add in some garlic. And you go ahead and put in your desired amount. You are the boss, applesauce, so you don't have to stick to the measurements. Let's add in our liquids, and we'll give that a great stir together. I can already smell the citrus of that lemon and the garlic coming together. All right, once that is fully incorporated, you can go in and add finely grated Parmesan cheese. The key to this sauce is making sure it's nice and thick because we really want it to cling to our romaine lettuce. All right, I am happy with that consistency. And now let's get our romaine in. I love romaine because it really holds up well to the weight of this sauce. So now my lettuce is fully coated and I want to get to the toppings for today. And I am using wild boar bacon. Could you have guessed that? I think so. So we'll get a nice amount of bacon on. And I don't like to crumble these up too much. I like people to just be excited about the amount of bacon, the size of the chunks that they're getting. All right, next we have our croutons. Now I don't put too many of these in, but I just really like a periodic crunch in my mouth from that. And there you have it, friends, Rolanda's renowned Caesar salad. Time to get these burgers on. Oh, that's perfect, friends. Nice and hot right where I want it. And my temperature is right around 500, which is the searing range. Now, burgers don't take too long at all. We're looking at about 5 to 8 minutes total. I want these puppies juicy. Nobody likes a dry burger, right? Don't be that guy. Oh, these are looking great, friends. Let's go ahead and give them a flip. Ooh, I love those grill marks. All right. So probably another 3 to 5 minutes to go on those, and it's going to be time to assemble. Ooh. Now I actually have my brother-in-law and his family over for dinner, which I'm so excited that they are here to try this delicious menu today. Now I'm not going to top every one of these burgers the same because I have kids here, and as you know, they can be a little bit of picky eaters now and again. But I know how I'm having mine, and I want to get it on there all warmed up. Now I'm just going to get my wild boar bacon on there. Huh, do you expect anything other than that? And as well, let's get some of the brie. Ooh, that creamy goodness is really just going to make that bite perfect. Oh my, look at that. Oh, this is fantastic. Last but certainly not least, we have some of Kajina's blueberry jam. Oh, and what I love about this is the pairing of the blueberry with my elk. As you know, many wild game enjoy eating blueberries, and so it is honestly a marriage made in heaven pairing these two. Fantastic brioche bun here. Oh my. All right, friends, all we're doing now is taking a big bite of it. Mmm. Oh, yeah. Mmm. Oh, I'm really getting the garlic coming through. And it's not opposing the flavors of the blueberry. It's almost like the blueberry is really balancing out that bite. And the brie cheese is creamy and it's really coating my mouth. Mmm. And the brioche bun, you can never go wrong with that.
The Wild Grill is brought to you by Napoleon Grills, North Fork Bison,
Now, when AJ and I were first married almost 19 years ago, that's crazy to think of. I remember when I first made this dessert for him, his reaction was just so awesome. He absolutely loved this. And so this dessert has a special place in my heart, and I'm so glad I get to show you how to make it. First step, we want to look at our initial foundation, which is the graham crumbs. Now, all I have here are my crumbs and a cup of melted butter. Let's go ahead and get those in together. Now that butter, as it cools in the fridge, is really going to solidify that base. All right, that is very well incorporated. And let's get that into our 9 by 13 glass pan here. Now for the fun part. It's like playing in sand all over again. We'll get a nice thin layer, evenly out, and then we'll just give it a nice press down. Nice little foundation, I must say so myself. All right, next up, we have our cream cheese layer. Now, all I have in this bowl here is my cream cheese with some icing sugar, and I've pre-mixed these together. And now all I want to do is add in 1 cup of Cool Whip. And that's really going to just give us that height that we want in our second layer. I'm going to fold it in so that I don't lose that height that I'm getting. All right, that is ready to go. And now all we want to do is get it on there and start evening it out into a nice layer. We have that down to a nice layer now. And I try to keep my layer as flat as I can, obviously, because when I go to put on the Jell-O topping, we don't want a real uneven set to that. So that looks great. Next up, I just want to get this in the fridge so that it can set for about 30 minutes before we put our Jell-O layer on. All right, so our cream cheese and Cool Whip layer has set for quite some time in the fridge. And next, I want to add my Jell-O powder into my boiling water. Now you're going to stir this until it's nicely dissolved. Next, we're going to add in our frozen strawberries. Now, as soon as we add in our strawberries, since they're so cold, you'll notice that that Jell-O is really going to start to thicken, which is excellent because it's easier to pour it out when it's just that slight bit thick. And now all we need to do is get our strawberries out. Now what I like is just putting out a little layer of the strawberries first, rather than just quickly pouring it from the bowl. And now that everyone will be having a nice bite of strawberry in their piece, we can go ahead and get the juice in. Look at that. That is perfect, friends. You can see the 3 distinct layers there. We have to get that right into the fridge. I'm going to let that sit for about 3 hours. There it is, friends. Doesn't that look so good? Oh, this brings back so many memories. And now for the best part, reminding myself how good this is. It is so rich with the bite of those strawberries. And the creaminess of that Cool Whip and the cream cheese combination coming through. And then when you get to that graham crumb, it is absolutely a delight, just like in the name. There's nothing like a mound of burgers and an awesome Caesar salad to bring families together. Check out our website for all of today's recipes and more, and thanks for tuning in on the Wild Grill, full of flavor. All right, guys, let's dig in.
Thank you, God, for this food. We thank you for us enjoying this wonderful, delicious meal. In Jesus' name, amen.